Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Guess the WN8, where my viewers submit games and I have to guess their stats based entirely on their gameplay. If I get within 250 of their WN8 or 2% of their wins, then I win. If I don't, then I give them gold. This is a paid replay. You can guarantee that your replay is used by using the paid submission link in the description. You can also submit for free by Discord, so do look in the description for details of that. Now we're gonna Panza Quad 7! A tier 10 heavy tank that has my ire. Certainly gets my gander up, does this filthy beast at tier 10. Better than it was due to gun performance buffs, but it's still... Oh, it's saucing me in the wazzocks. Improved hardening. Bounty Ladder and a Bond Turbo. Fine setup. I mean, the gun performance feels nice enough these days that we don't really need gun stabilization orientated equipment. A base pen 276, premium 25 and 65 with HE, when I got 4 of those. Fair enough, they're not remarkable. Carrying them for resets and finishing off low HP targets. Now we've got 0.3 accuracy and a 2.3 second aim time. Make no mistake, the gun is a pleasant gun. It's a very nice gun. It's just unfortunate that it happens to be on this vehicle. I would have fired there just to swing over an EBR with RNG, but there you go. Now, this is a rear-mounted turret tank, right? And ideally it wants to side-type, but it can't do that because when it does, it exposes one of the weakest portions of the entire tank. It's got the curse of the FV215B, right? When you do the thing that you're supposed to do when you're driving the thing, it becomes weak because that's the vehicle's thing. Oh Lord, so what am I talking about? Look, that is what I'm talking about. When you side-type out a corner, this is about 175 at the worst. It's about 220 maybe at the best. That's not good. It's tier 10. And if you say, okay, well, I'm not going to do that. That would be silly. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to put my front around the corner on a severe angle. Viable. Probably the way you want to play this tank most of the time. But, other than the fact that your play can be penned, on a severe angle, it's very bouncy, to be fair. There's a hole in the gun mantlet. There's a freaking, the gun mantlet. It's like, it's a tier 10 heavy tank. It's a tier 10 heavy tank. It's tier 10. It's a tier 10 German super heavy. It weighs 120 tons. And it has 225 millimeters in the gun. Just shoot the lower portion of the gun, and you. I'm not a fan. I don't like this tank. I don't enjoy this tank. No, it's 30 millimeters. 30 kph top speed. Ooh, and that is a threatening mouse. APCR through the front of the cheeks there. Oh boy. Woo! That didn't look like a heat shell, judging by the impact. That maybe on that. Well, I'm surprised we're penning here that mouse on that angle with the 325 pen. Interestingly enough, this is a circumstance where we want to be aware of another niche weakness that is present on the mouse against high pen APCR shells primarily. I've made this comparison a few times before. But certainly when you're in a tier 10 that has heat, it doesn't have to be a tier 10, but you have standard like AP or APCR shells, and then you have premium heat shells. When confronting a mouse, you have a better chance of penning the gun mantlet with AP than you have an angled cheek with heat. Wait, I mean, no, just ignore what I said for the mouse has a weakness in the side of the gun mantlet when it angles. That's what you do in the mouse. You angle your tongue to bounce heat shells, and this mouse is getting unlucky with the bounces here. It's good shooting, center of the cheeks. You don't want to hit high or low because of this slope that you have down here. But the point I'm making is that the VK, the Panzer Quad, unlike something like a 60TP or an IS-4 ST2, something like that, this thing has the opportunity to pen right there on this angle. Let's look at this shot because it's interesting to be aware of in tanks that have APCR as, maybe I can contextualize what the hell I was talking about earlier. Alright, so here we go. Mouse. Let's go to mouse premium. 300 what the, I can't go. It's not letting me go to premium. Okay, what point being, you see that? That drop from like 400 to 270? Now we know that there are a good few shells in the game of the AP variety that exceed 270 millimeters of pen. And even with standard shells, that is a 9% chance, right? And was I correct? Let's see, this is going to be really interesting. IS-4, let's take a 113, just to be different. 113, 340 millimeters of heat pen. Am I right? I thought I was bullshitting myself, but the more I think about it, the more I think I'm correct. Let's perfectly angle a mouse, shall we? Look at that, 7% chance, and the cheeks, 14% chance, right? And then 113 AP shell. What's our best chance? 28. I was right. You have a better chance of penning the gunman at the mouse with standard than you do the turret cheeks with heat. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? That's cool. You know what else is cool? Let's take a 50B, very high APCR pen. And the reason I take a 50B is because I reckon probably the most common APCR premium shell 2B5 out of 10 probably comes out of 50Bs. And there you go. Gun mantlet of a mouse, people. You're penning it 99% of the time, 99.2. So there you go. Interesting. Let's get back to the game. So it's worth noting that if you get into a close-up fight with that mouse, you have that play that's viable. And you can see this guy's doing what we talked about earlier. He is presenting the front of this tank on a severe angle. And the reason he's doing that is because he doesn't want to expose that huge weakness. And this Panza is not working that corner particularly admirably. Oh, and that was most certainly a heat shell. You see that connection? Upper plate of the Chieftain Heavy there looked like it went straight through like butter, as to be expected. And we do get a pen on the AMX, most likely on the lower plate. And this Panza, what this Panza needs to do right now is stay alive. This Panza right now has huge holding potential by threat. And this is something that's commonly underappreciated in big tanks, right? Is what you can contribute to a game by doing this. I hope I'm slightly, almost off cam. But by being there on the side, just saying, hi, and just sitting there. People don't want to take 1,000+ damage. They really don't. And especially when you're a one-shot, all you do is sit there. You just sit there and you exist. You just exist as a happy free-range Panzer. And you impact this flank. But I get the feeling this guy's gonna volunteer to die. Wonderful. Good work. Why don't I sidestep the Panzer against a premium spanning VK and die losing security of the position? Wonderful. Could not have done it better myself. Mainly because I wouldn't have, because it's done. And now we are falling back, working at, I think, 15 in reverse, somewhere around there. 33? Oh my word, there's someone in chat complimenting the enemy team. Wow. That's, must be playing a different game, I would imagine. Bear with, I don't want to fill your head with bullshit, so let's look at 33 and 15 in reverse. Yes, I was correct. Go me. Okay, so, let's fast forward this. Now we're going at 60. Magical. Okay. Oh, an EVR taking a good Panza again. Oh. There's some non-PG stuff going on over there. And look at these heavies, man. 2 of these heavies, 3 of these heavies just turning around, going back to defend. Ooh, okay. Yes! Yes, don't over-fortify a single position. Yes! So what are we doing right now? We're going mid. We've got enough going here that the enemy really aren't going to over-push it. Not against the Jagdpanzer. If it was 3 heavies here, I mean, maybe if they get the Minnow and the M60 up, but in which case it's going to take long enough that this guy can allocate an impact. But against a Jagdpanzer, pushing in this kind of land, like you take 1,000 going over more than 1,000, and then you still got to deal with the Jagdpanzer once you get there. They're not pushing this. It ain't gonna happen. So what are we doing? We're going mid to get alternate angles. We don't want to over-fortify a position. We want to diversify, spread ourselves out, cover, occupy more of the map, extend our vision. Lovely. Okay, but ideally, we want to put ourselves in a position where we can still network and support with our team. On the Centurions, that's take 560 average damage to the side. And we're pressuring up to the mid, 750 from the 60 TP. Sure, that was greatly appreciated. Centurion manages to bounce off what I can only assume was the target of this VK. But at this point, we're not really threatened by that Centurion. He's kind of locked down there with absolutely nothing he can do. So we're pushing up to see if we can figure out maybe where this Minotauro is. Ooh, and we do indeed figure that out. Now, hold down Minotauro is one of the worst things to come into the game as of late, and that gun mantlet not doing you favours. But it did get its cupolas nerfed to a point where it's actually pennable. It's like 270. Sure, you have to fire premium like 60% of the time in most tanks that you face it with, but it's pennable. You can do it. I remember when it came into the game and the entire CC Discord server. In case anyone doesn't know, Wargaming have a special section on their Discord server for CC's content contributors, where they give us early access to things and they tell us what's going on. And to be fair, the people that are there communicate with us and talk and let us share opinions, and they're really good. Unfortunately, the people that do stuff with the information that we give to those people are questionable at best. This is really not. You see the little elevation behind him, this land. What's that put him at? What's that put this VK at? Like a 10. You know what it does, chat. I'm going to show you because it's a good learning exercise. But look, takes it from that 268 IS7 250 pen. Pens it maybe 30% of the time, less, somewhere around there. And it goes to that. And all of a sudden, it's 277. That's 10% of the time. It's just that little bit. So in that situation, I'm versing up there. I don't know if he did it deliberately, but it means that this guy, aiming for the lower plate, his chances of penning go down. Yeah, it's in the 10, 20% less, but it's those things that matter. And yeah, as I was saying. Oh, HE loading. Okay, avoid the gun antlet. Oh, I like to see that. That's lovely. When Wargaming first introduced the Italian TDs, we got an early preview, a sneak peek, if you like, of the Minotauro. We got to see the armor profile. And, quickie maybe, skill, myself, Daki, awesome epic guys. Other people that I'm feeling bad about not remembering the names of. Every single person said that this is bullshit. We don't want more immortal hold down tanks. Please nerf it so that it is not immortal hold down. And I did fuck all. And then they released it. It was immortal hold down. And then like a year later, they nerfed its cupolas. Even though they literally released it early, asked our opinions about it, we gave our opinions, unanimous consensus that this is what you need to do to make it balanced. Still went in the game. Now, as I say, look, the people on the Discord, we appreciate that they communicate, and to be honest, they're wonderful people that do a lot, but it's just a shame that sometimes the higher-ups don't seem to get the message. Okay, ooh, CGC, can we snap? 2.3 seconds of aim time, 0.3 accuracy. You should spend a moment appreciating 0.3 accuracy and 2.3 seconds of aim time on a 560 Alpha gun. It is pleasant. Now this to me feels like a decent player. My instinct is sort of 57, 58, around there. Or they just do what higher ups do, goes, nah, I know better. I can't comment. I don't know. Do people like this tank? Do people play this tank because they enjoy it? Was it sort of a masochistic thing? Would that be masochism or sadism? Isn't one of those is like hurting yourself, another way is hurting others, right? Masochism. I mean, it's sort of, I feel like 57.48. For WN8, I'll go 2,666. Estimate 57.48, 2,851. Wow. Really? That is wild. That is an insane disparity between recents and overall. What the heck? What happened to you after like 14,000 games? What did you do? Did you start watching someone very manly on YouTube who provides really good educational content and tells you how to win? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second replay. A Leopard 1. Gorgeous. With Bond vertical stabilizer, regular glamour, and vents. Unusual setup, I would say. This thing doesn't need much in the way of gun stabilization. It's got 0.29 accuracy and a 1.7 second aim time. Beautiful stuff. I've forgotten the pen around it. It's 278 with premium and 326, I believe, with premium. 323. How novel. Okay, 323, and let's remember that his premium is also APCR. It's just faster APCR, going at like 1,600 meters per second, something ridiculous. Even the HE on this tank only goes down to 1,100 meters per second, so not going to have any trouble leading those shells. And it is odd to me, to be honest, to see only 6 HE shells, given that they have 105 millimeters of penetration. That is very, very good indeed. Now you've got to look at the enemy team list to sort of discover why the positioning is as it is here. There's no light tanks So we're not expecting a massive amount of occupation of the field. We do, however, have a Batcher and 2 STB-1s that could go field ways, but it's debatable whether they'd be able to capitalize on the advantage of moving through that open land. And the thing about saving the line that made it sort of this kind of passive and defensive gameplay, other than, of course, this being the nature of the Leo, is that it's a very heavy orientated map. Like, all of the main warfare and progress generally happens in the town, certainly when you get towards the higher tiers. I'd argue that less and less games are decided by a sort of bold flank around the field pass. But I'd be interested in seeing perhaps a bit of relocation to cover the Superconk right now, who's kind of overextending himself a little bit. Only got one sort of layer of support behind him. Who is that behind him? Oh, Badger. Okay, maybe not necessarily to have me over there as well. I'm sorry, what? I mean, it's unconventional. Could work. Get the IS-7 to, like, A2? Like, and then maybe move up with the mediums? Like, under there. But, I mean, conventionally, like, if you were going to make a play like this, from the enemy team's point of view, and it's interesting right now to note that TVP is getting torn apart. There's definitely not just an IS-7's damage potential. Maybe far from the middle, that we could be looking at something else like a Batchat or the other STB-1 in a position where they can shoot at this guy as well, so worth considering. Perhaps the 268 got a shot into him. But the way you would conventionally do a play like this is you push the IS-7 low. You know, it's got the hit points, it's got the armor. You'd push it up under here at the same time as you have an assault on the one line with primarily the Batchats and STB-1s. You know, the mobile tanks that can have the DPN and the gun definition, the flexibility. You'd move those out here, and then you'd use them as a multi-level engagement with this IS-7 to stop him being overpushed, and you'd win it that way. It's really odd to see the IS-7 move up here. I mean, of all the heavy tanks in the game to do that, IS-7's probably among the best. But just very unconventional, and it does impact the security of the position that we're currently occupying. Probably what the Grill is feeling right now and why he's sort of relocating. And it looks like our friend in the Leo is feeling that powerful uncomfortableness as well from having an IS-7 that he's turning his open flank to, and 261, most accurate RT in the game, whiffing a shell right over him. Now you've got to ask, what are opportunities? And right now, the biggest opportunity for a tank like a Leo is actually on the North line. Everything is spotted by a T-57 Heavy and an STB-1. There's a legitimate chance to make a play down the North line and occupy this area. You potentially get the RT, and if you do secure this position, you get to pour fire into the rear of this heavy tank engagement right here. So that'll be something I'd look at doing right now, because this game is not looking good currently. And I don't see any other way of kind of impacting this in a Leo. Like, look at the density of this engagement. You can't go anywhere near that really in something like a Leopard. Very few tanks that you want to get near that in. You want to go around, right? You want to stay far away from the engagement where you can use the accuracy, you can use the stealth, you can use the mobility, all of the assets that you have by being a Leopard 1. Solid track there. Spent a good amount of time aiming for that. Very deliberate. Okay. Let's see. Can we hold here? This is going to be very difficult if the eyes... Why is... What? Why is... Concerned by still unspotted T-Vicinity. It is concerning. Yeah. I mean, the problem is we're at the stage of the game where it's kind of make or break, right? So it's the stage where you're kind of forced into making decisions like that. Like, if you were ever going to make the 9-0 line, you wanted to make it, like, 30 seconds ago to take it and try and prevent this sort of from getting even worse. Because as soon as this happens, like, you're dead tactically. I have a severe question as to why that IS-7 is still there. Like, he should have been there minutes ago. Maybe he's pinned down by the grill? But in which case, why has there not been a low push? Are they just obsessed with damage here? Like, that seems really odd. Surely you just focus this position, you get this around, and you kind of win. Okay, IS-7 is coming forward. I think that should have happened 30 seconds ago. We got a random event. That could be interesting. I wonder what... And the IS-7 is doing the right thing, pushing up. He should get as close to the launch line as he possibly can. And there's the other STB-1, interesting. Obviously, now it's not appropriate to take the 9-0 line. Now this gameplay is completely proportional. Staying here to cover all these presented targets is certainly good play. We're staying just out of the combat. Do get spotted by that poke. Wow. IS-7 gets himself killed on a ridge line. That's basically nothing other than bad play. Okay, let's aim for the engine here. Could have held that shot a little later. Just go for the engine fire. Now we should pick him up, and indeed we do. I like the awareness between shots. Right, and that... Oh, I was going to say take the hit from the STRV to pound the Batchat. And this DPM is working. It's about 2.8 base, somewhere around there. Focus the Batchat here. Batchat, Batchat, Batchat. Okay. Oh, and that's unfortunate. Very unfortunate. We got a Badger with us, so we're not in as much danger here as we might otherwise think. Alright, let's poke from a shot of the Batchat. That's wonderful work. So, autoloaders do not like what just happened. We talk about autoloaders a lot in these episodes, and we talk about proximity to engagement whilst not being the primary, the prodigal element of it, right? So, Batchats, T-57 heavies, 50Bs, Minotauros, T-71s, anything you want to think of that has an autoloader, their gameplay is predicated on taking damage and dealing more. So when engaging an autoloader, if you can have an opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to trade a shot with you, and no matter what happens, you are only ever going to get one back into me. That is a favorable engagement for a non-autoloader. They are engagements you should take because you are taking away power and assertive capabilities and engagement dictation from an otherwise very powerful tank. So really good to see that kind of engagement. If you can force an autoloader into a one shell for one shell fight, it's always ideal. And that stun potentially costing him there. Does the Badger take out the STRV? Oh, goes forward, takes out the Batchat. Nice play by him. Okay, and now these heavies coming into the town, doing some work, going for the engine. Lovely shot. Okay. And now we're not worried about the Badger now. Are we worried about the Badger? I mean the STRV. I don't like the idea that we're going left here. Look, win or lose is right here. If we're relocating onto the hill here to cover the STRV, in my opinion, that's a very poor play. Right now, I want to see us try and get into a position maybe on this corner, maybe around here. If we're up here, potentially we have impact, but I want to be supporting this. Because we got... Are these guys still on full health? Oh, that guy is half health. But look, 2 tier 10 heavies, full health super conk. you don't need to stick yourself into this engagement, but you should be proximal to it. You are a one-shot. But the idea of being close to that super conk is saying, okay, enemy team, you can't overmatch this guy. Right? You can't send in an IS-7 and an STB and just charge this super conk and kill it. Because there's a Leo on the side just poking you if you do that. Right? You're not offering damage trades. You're aware that your potential damage, if they do make a certain play, is dangerous. Right? So I would be trying to make myself known in this area. I'd be worried about the long distance Falcon T-57 here, because that SDRV is just not priority. Oh, and you were still lit for quite a time there. That was bold. Bold indeed. Because look, the Badger's going into the... No, don't tell him to fall back. Look, the STRV doesn't matter. He's not going to win the game. What's he going to do if you're in the town? What's he going to do? Waltz into the town and say, ha-ha! Fear me and my siege mode and my corner fighting potential. No, he's not. He's going to sit on the hill and allow you to be dumb and play into him if you want to volunteer. Right? A one-shot SDRV is not a problem right now. This is a problem. You should be going over there and filling a spot. Come on, go with your Badger. Get in there. Oh, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go, 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 go. Stop letting everyone fight alone. Someone does take a kill shot on you. What do you think's gonna happen? Look at that engagement. Please tell me you're not going to go and try and 1v1 an STRV. Right now. Look, if you YOLO'd in there, got shot in the face by that 268 and died, that would be useful. Because it means that he's going to die to the Badger and IS-7. If you YOLO'd in and got shot in the face by this guy, he dies to these guys. You can even die in that engagement and you're useful. Obviously, you don't want to, but being there is essential, because if you kill this, you still have to deal with this. You kill this, you can fight out of the town, you win the most powerful position in the entire game. Oh. Why are we focusing on SDRV right now? Why are we bothered? He doesn't represent threat. That was a bold relocation, top of the hill in the middle of the open. Okay. Hi. Look, are we threatened by the STRV? Is anyone in the town going, oh no, an STRV in the town? I really don't think that's bothering a lot of people here. Okay, finally we're in the town. We just... 70 top speed on the This man's got balls. He doesn't know where or when to use them, but he's got balls. Oh god, it's like a blind guy trying to fuck a lamppost. That's the exact gameplay I feel like this game was. Oh no, okay. Yelling out a bit ahead of our team here. Look, can we not, look, even mathematically, the T-57 Heavy, even if it's not on full health, one of the most powerful, like, potential tanks in the game. Highest DPM in the entire game while having an autoloader. That alone justifies it. Sana is trolley, 400 meters of base range, good gun depression. I think it's 8 degrees, right? If we go all at once, he doesn't even have enough shells, even if they did 1,000 damage each, to kill all of us, right? Yelling alone against a full health T-57 Heavy, even if there wasn't an RT in the game, it's just unadvisable. Look, you're probably going to win. It's probably not going to be a problem, but there's no pressure. You got 7 minutes left. Just wait for your team. Pick you are a very mobile tank. We talked about before, one of the things that you can use against enemy tanks, if you were 1v2, for example, against a mouse and an Object 140, one of the things that you can consider using in a vacuum without any other context is, okay, the Object 140 is way faster than the mouse. So if I get spotted in a position and I relocate, I go, let's say I was spotted in this lunge line, I spot the mouse and the Object 140 out here. I put a shot out, maybe I'll take a shot and turn. I move from here back to here. You know that Object 140 ain't going to wait for the mouse, like 90% of the time. 90% of the time, you'll find the Object 140 up here before the mouse gets halfway. Right? And that's what's happening here from the point of view of the Tiefton Heavy. Right? The more mobile tank is isolating from the rest of his tanks and becomes an isolated and potential easy kill. Right? So it's something worth thinking about. And the way that you can stop that from happening, how you can play against that and sort of get out of the habit of isolating yourself in these situations, is look behind you, pick the slowest tank and push it. That's it. Just find the Badger and just give it a push. It gives you something to do, and it stops you from isolating yourself. It's just something to consider. As I say, in this circumstance, I don't think it will matter, but it's bad gameplay principle to isolate in the way that you do. Oh my god! Well, fortunately, it's really not good gameplay. And what? How long did it take him to kill you? What the fuck? Oh no! Legitimately, your team can lose this. It's possible. It's not likely, but if the RT gets a lucky hit in, like gets a good hit on one of these guys, okay, GG. Oh my. I mean, it's mediocre gameplay. I'm feeling sort of. My instinct is sort of 51, is my instinct. There wasn't any sort of urgency. I mean, the relocation was not... To be clear, a lot of this is sort of at least tangential to good sniper medium practices. As in... We spent a lot of the game at the back, not in the combat, waiting. So, this isn't foreign gameplay to see in a Leo, and I don't sort of begrudge anyone for not making the 9-0 line play, because I think, with hindsight, and even potentially foresight, I think it would have gotten killed. I think the Tiefton Heavy was out there, and potentially the other STB-1 as well, so... I may well have got myself killed very early in this game trying to make that sort of preventative play that I felt like I was forced into. But certainly when you're playing a Leo, there is a sort of overarching want or desire to take a more defensive utility in your toolkit, just because it is very inherent when you are playing a Leo. I mean, it's not called a sniper medium tank for no reason. So I was bothered by, primarily, the worst play in this game was the stagnancy on this hill at the end and the decision not to be present in the town. Because that was, prioritizing this one-shot SDRV is really silly. Because he provides zero threat to a town engage. Zero threat. SDRVs don't work in a town. They especially not in that environment. They just can't work. So he was threatening when providing multi-level engagement with the Batchat on that line. It was very threatening. As soon as he went down to a one-shot, like, just ignore him. If he gets himself killed, he gets himself killed, and head into the town. I'm gonna go 51.05 is what I'll do. 51.05. Because I think the engagement on the Batchat was nice. Yeah, I won't overthink it too much. Let's just go 51.05, and I'll go... I will go 1,438 WN8. Anyway, okay, so estimate 51.05 wins and 1,410 WN8. Oh, okay. Better than I thought. Better than I thought. Really odd gameplay. Certainly towards the end. The isolation, the stagnancy. Maybe it's just someone who's been playing a Leo too much. Or just has a very defensive playstyle. Yeah, interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for watching. You can look in the description for the next and previous episodes. These episodes do release early for channel members, so click the join button if you're interested in that. And you can find a link to the entire playlist in the description as well. Thank you so much. The description also tells you how you can submit. So, yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You better never ever shoot versus the man, cause that's a jerk of his hand, hence you're a permanent ban, yep. Like in a roleplay game, you wield a dagger but get smashed from half a globe away. But don't worry mate, he's sorry you could have known though, it's all the same story, you better not berate him. He is living in the country next to the US with oil fields.